Hello guys. So I'm back with a new video, and to start it off, I'm just gonna ask you guys to please subscribe to my channel. I'm using a headset to record my voice, and I'm gonna be making a top 10 video. Okay, and it's gonna be of the top 10 most underrated games in my opinion. So because of that, I'm recording my voice, sending it to the cloud, and then sending it to my other computer, and then I'll send that to the Power Editor or Editor, whatever. It's called a Power Editor or something like that. And then I'll put like gameplay in the background of the games I'm talking about because it's typically common in top tens, and I want to roll along with that because it definitely make the video a lot better quality. So anyway, starting off with number 10 on our list, we have Kirby Triple Deluxe. So for Kirby
What's up,
Triple
guys?
Deluxe,
Zach Scott here playing Kirby Triple
I
Deluxe
chose
for
it
the
as number
Nintendo
10
3DS. This will be
because
the
a
first Kirby
ton of
game I'm
people
playing on
are
the full
talking
console,
about,
so I'm really
really
excited to
always
see how it
talk
turns
about,
out. Thanks to what you guys do, Nintendo videos
they
do
always
really
talk
well on
about
my
Kirby
channel.
Planet
The first
Robobot, and
episode
I
of
feel
Super
like
Mario
Kirby
3D
Triple
World has over
Deluxe definitely
7,000 likes and
deserves
nearly 3 million
some
views, making it my fourth
credit,
most
especially
viewed
for
video
creating
ever. I'd be thrilled
Planet
if this video got
Robobot.
anywhere in
I
that
mean,
range.
Triple Deluxe
Also,
was the
thanks
first
for subscribing.
Kirby
I
3DS
recently hit
game, or at least main title,
750,000
or
subscribers,
main
just
game.
three-fourths of the
So,
way to 1 million, and
yeah, I
that
mean, it
blows my
definitely deserves
mind.
more
I
credit
am
than I was
forever
given
grateful for what you
because
guys do.
tons of
You may have
it's
come from
just
Instagram,
overshadowed
Facebook,
by
or even my
Planet
Zach Scott
Robobot. That's
YouTube channel,
really,
but wherever you
I
came
wouldn't say
from,
it's an
I'd love
amazing
to know
game,
how you
but
first found my
it's
videos. Let me know in the
Robobot is
comments
better,
below, and
but
thank you
people
so
talk
much for
about
being here.
Robobot way
And
too
now,
much compared
without
to
further ado,
Kirby
let's
Triple
play Kirby
Deluxe. So
Triple Deluxe for the
that's gonna
3DS. This is
conclude
going to
with
be
number 10.
awesome. Here we go.
And for number 9, we have Super Mario 3D Land. I put 3D Land because I feel like people just, again, it's sort of like uh, it's just people don't talk about the game. It's just sort of ignored, and I can't really comprehend why people ignore the game. I feel like people should talk about it more. I just don't hear I just don't hear much about it. It's just like, but I've seen really positive reviews, and I love the game. I love the 2.5D style, the really happy music, cheery music is also really enjoyable, and it's great. It's great. It's so music's great. It looks awesome for a 3DS game. It actually used the 3D of the 3DS pretty well, with like the special rooms that could use 3D to then so then it make like a vision like illusion. So yeah. And so okay, so number 8 we have Super Smash Bros for the Wii U. For 3DS, I mean the 3DS version is definitely not as good as the Wii U version. Um, the only really difference is that so the only difference is really that the 3DS version has Smash Run, and yeah. Anyway, it's just so people hate on it so much. I've heard so much hate on it. It's like, oh, it doesn't have a story mode. It doesn't have. People talk so much about the negative drawbacks of the game compared to the old ones. You never see anything amazing about the new, like the new stuff, like 8 player Smash. That's fun. The amiibo were introduced, like amiibo, like they just work. You can connect them and train them. That was cool. It was the first game to have good network connection. Trust me. From what I've heard and from what I've tried, Brawl did not have good connection, like to play online. So that's why I put it on number 8, and that's gonna be concluding number 8 on our list. And number 7, I have Celeste. So why I think Celeste is such an underrated game is because it's just that just people don't talk about it at all. It's not talked about. People don't talk about it ever. Although when I hear people talk about it, they definitely give it really high reviews, and I feel like in a way it's sort of a tiny bit overrated because people say, "Oh, dude, this is so good. It's better than like I don't know. It's like one of the best platformers ever," which I don't think is one of the best ever. Although I could definitely put it like on my top 10 platformers of all time. I actually might make a video on that. That'd be great. And I'm sorry for any background noise. I'm not in control of that. I wish I had somewhere to record, but this is the only place I can right now. So I'm just gonna have to deal with it.
Almost impossible.
And so that's concluding number 7. And for number 6, we have Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight might be really surprising to you, but the reason why I did that is because I talked to a lot of my friends about Shovel Knight, and they either never heard of the game or say it's not a good game. I've heard, especially in school, online that might be different, but you know, I'm not gonna rate it just on what people say online because it doesn't represent everybody in the world and their opinion. But at the same time, my school doesn't. But anyway, so yeah, for Shovel Knight, I mean, it's just lots of people didn't know about the game, and I'm really surprised. I feel like it should be such a well-known game, one of my favorite games ever. It's such a great game, and to just see people not talking about it at all. And like, well, not talk about it. People not knowing about it, or my friends. A lot of my friends say it's not a good game because, like, because dying isn't punishing enough. And like, but then I asked them, do you think the game is complicated and that you die a lot? And then they said yes. So then I had to tell them that. If they none of them beat the game, I had to explain to them that. I mean, I just don't understand how they think the deaths aren't punishing enough, so it's a bad game. I don't see that. I mean, I don't see how that make it a bad game. I mean, I think the deaths were punishing enough because you die a lot in the game. So being able to recover back all the gold you lost. That's awesome. You can recover back from your own death. You can recover everything. So it still makes you redo what you messed up on, but it gives you a chance to come back and fix what you lost. That's why I don't like about Mega Man games and games with lives. It's so restricting and adds so much fake difficulty. It's called artificial difficulty into the game, and it's intolerable. It doesn't feel like a game because at least to me, it doesn't feel like a game. It stops feeling like a game because I have to keep doing the same part over and over. I'm not progressing at all. I don't feel sense of progression. At least Mega Man 11 did fix it with the upgrades, but the upgrades don't do too much. Just getting like more lives, you should get that stuff. You shouldn't. The upgrades are not gonna save you. They're not gonna save you. They can make bosses a tiny bit quicker. That's sort of it. But anyway, so number 6 is done, and now we're going on with number 5. So for number 5, I have Mario Kart 7. I chose Mario Kart 7, and this is gonna be extremely controversial. I bet one of the most controversial on here, definitely, or maybe number 1 or number 2. 4 and 3 shouldn't be the controversial. I mean, at least from. I mean, I just don't think they are going to be. But anyway, Mario Kart 7. Why Mario Kart 7? I feel like the issue is that people hate on Mario Kart 7 way too much. It's like I don't see anything super bad about the game. I don't. I feel like the only things I see about the game that are bad is it doesn't have enough single player content. Like, well, it does have enough. It should have more. It's just like Grand Prix time trials, the balloon and coin runners. Then you're done. And I definitely wish I had more. It's a bit underwhelming in content for single player, but it makes up so well with the amazing online functionality, and also with local multiplayer. It was the first Mario Kart game to bring to us customizable carts. Before that, it's just You chose a character and a car, and that's it. You couldn't customize the wheels, the car frame, the glider. You just stuck with a character and the car. And they added stats and cars you could make, and that was awesome. That was great. I really like that, and I also like the controls, because in Mario, in a lot of other Mario Kart games, I feel like the controlling the carts was a bit weird, and Mario Kart 7 was really the game that made the control style that we have today, which is great. And it's just it revolutionized the series so much, and to see people hate on it when it really doesn't have that many flaws except for not enough single player content. I hated that. I hate that. I can't. It's so. I can't explain. It's just. I just hate that. And okay, now with number 4, I have Super Mario Galaxy 2. I was actually planning to put this a bit higher, but once I saw Metacritic scores recently and heard that at one time it was at a 97, which was as high as the original Super Mario Galaxy for quite a while, I think like 100 days, I decided to go ahead and put it at number 4 once I heard that. Although, sure, recently people have been talking about it. When you ask people, oh, what's your favorite Mario game, they always say Mario Galaxy 1. They never said the second game. And I like the second and first game just as equally. Maybe the second game a tiny bit more. And the reason being is that the reason why is simply just because it's very linear, and it's sort of like the 2.5D style, like in Super Mario 3D Land, but has a bit more exploration, and it has some 2D sections, which is pretty cool. Just straight up 2D sections. And it's great. It's such a great game. I feel like it's an amazing follow-up to Mario Galaxy, which is a game with one of the highest Metacritic scores ever. Okay, 97. Super Mario Galaxy 2 was a great follow-up. I could argue that it's maybe even better than the first game, and that just surprises me how little people have talked about the game, even though it's such a great game. Such a great game. They added so many power-ups, the new linear style I liked, and it's so underappreciated and such an underrated game. I could have put it on number 1, but after seeing Metacritic scores, I put it lower. But so now that we're done with number 4 on the list, we got to the top 3, okay, guys? And these are probably gonna be pretty controversial, especially 2 and 1. With number 3, you might agree. You might think it was really random. But okay, let's go on. So, for number 3, I have WarioWare Gold. WarioWare Gold, you might be wondering. Such a random thing to add, right? It's like, basically, I feel like the issue is nobody's played the game. So basically, nobody's talked about it. And I've only heard bad reviews about the game. And I don't like that. I don't like how people just sort of sweep it under the rug, and those who do talk about it just talk trash. I feel like it's a great game. It's my favorite WarioWare game. I'm saying that even though I only had the demo. Okay, I only had the demo, and you could play the games. You could play the games. You just really didn't have access to story mode, but that didn't matter to me, and it was great. I'm telling you, I've spent countless of hours playing the game, and I just don't see the hate behind it. I can't understand why people are so hateful of the game. To me, there's not a reason to hate on it. It's a fun game. It's a great revival to a series that has been dead for a while. Hopefully, they'll make a good WarioWare game on the Switch. Probably not, but it'd be awesome. And yeah, I just don't. It's just, I feel like people weren't aware of the game, so then it got really swept under the rug and really went under the radar. Okay, number 2. This might be the most controversial one. It might be number 1 for some of you. But for number 2 on the list, I'm having Mega Man 1. The original Mega Man. The reason I'm putting Mega Man 1 is because people talk so much about the flaws of the first game. And I think there's a really obvious reason why people talk about the flaws of the first game so much. I think it's simply because of the second game. People compare the first to the second game so much, and actually all the later games, to see how much they've improved on the first game, and then because of that, they reduce the size of the first game. It's just, it's like, oh, it's worse than this and that. People always talk about how it's worse than other games rather than talking about how the game itself is good. And I feel like it's not, I feel like it's, I liked Mega Man 1, and I played the Legacy Collection so I could save and restart when I wanted to. And, I mean, personally, I liked it more than the second game, because I liked the way more like, I feel like the placements of enemies with the placements of the enemies was really strategic with the platforming, and that platforming was harder. And I liked that, and the bosses were not that hard at the end, which sadly the second and third game did make harder, and I do not like that because it's so heartbreaking to lose your lives at the end of the stage and then have to redo all over again. What the boss says that is hard, it's not as likely to happen, which to me, because of that, I definitely put it number 2. People just compare it so much to being worse in the new games or newer games. So yeah. And now that we're done with number 2, I'm going to number 1, which is Luigi's Mansion 2. This is gonna probably get a ton of hate, and that's why. People hate on Luigi's Mansion 2 so much. I think Luigi's Mansion 2 is by far better than Luigi's Mansion 1, and I have a million reasons why. First of all, I'm gonna set it out and clear. The levels added so much to the game. People's main issue was that there were levels and worlds instead of just playing. But that's great. Here's the first reason. Since they have levels, the missions you have to do are a lot more creative. It's not like Luigi's Mansion 1 that's like, oh yeah, just do something really simple. Typically just kill all the ghosts, you get a key, go to the next room, continue. It's not that simple. There are a lot of things you have to do. You have to find creative pathways and creative ways to figure out problems. The levels and ways to progress in the game are a lot more creative. Way more creative. Another thing I liked was the more cartoony style. Because it actually sort of, even though people say Luigi's Mansion 1 sort of created Luigi's personality, if you compare it to now, personalities are sort of different. Like, Luigi now is a lot more like cartoony, not as dark. Like the second game gave Luigi more of his design that we know him for today. I feel like his voice, especially, and I like the cartoony looks. I like the humor of Luigi's Mansion 2. I felt like I never felt like it clashed too much with the design of the game, and people were like, "Oh, it's not that scary and thematic," and to me, that does not matter for a game. I don't care if it's thematic or scary or whatever. I feel like that is not necessary at all for a game, and that should never be applied to rating a game. I don't see the issues with having, like, you know, goods, like bad scene. I mean, I just can't comprehend why people care. And the other thing is that the maps are more creative, like the worlds, like the places you follow and enter are so much more creative instead of being just a mansion with a bunch of rooms. you follow like
God, get ready to
you go to so many different places, like a clockwork factory. You go to a mansion, then you go to like
Where is Luigi going?
I haven't even finished the game. I know there's a mansion, clockwork tower, and try to remember the name of it. Sorry, I can't remember. But I know the worlds are so much more creative. So are the bosses. Like you fight stair ladder
I can't tell if
there,
Luigi's
on the
disappointed
clockwork
or
tower.
relieved.
It's really cool. The clock keeps moving and then it spawns in a round of
You
enemies.
seem a bit tense, son.
Um,
Relax.
and
We're
stuff like
perfectly safe
that.
here in this
Oh, and a giant
impenetrable
spider
bunker.
in the first world.
Anywho, it's been too long,
And
my
that's
boy.
so much more,
I
so
imagine
much
you've been
more
off adventuring
creative
with that
than the
daredevil
first game.
brother of yours.
And it's the first game is
Me?
the
Oh,
second
I've just
game.
been
Sorry,
continuing my
it's not as
research on
annoying.
paranormal
If you remember
activity
first
and
game,
whatnot.
trying to capture the
In
booze
fact,
was
after our
really
last
annoying.
adventure, I became somewhat of an
Some
authority
ghosts
in
were
the
really
field.
annoying.
But enough of that.
And
Let me
in
fill
the
you in on our
second game,
ghost
they
investigator.
sort of got rid of that annoying
See that on the
factor
screen?
of like just
That
having to
there
go
is
back and
dark
forth getting
blue.
keys,
It's
going
a
back and forth to
mysterious
get the
celestial body
booze.
that has pacifying
When the
effect
power
on
goes
all
out,
ghosts
that
that
was
ever take
really
power.
stupid.
When I
It
heard
just
about it, I jumped at the bare chance
panned
of
out the
studying
game.
ghosts
It
in a
extended
peaceful
it
environment. It was
just because they
incredible, my
needed
boy.
to make the
I
game
was doing some
longer.
of the best
Because
research of my
a
long
bunch of ghosts
storied career.
respawned on
That
all
is
the
until
rooms you
something
already went
snapped
to,
inside the ghost,
and it
and
just
they
didn't
all
feel
suddenly got hostile.
fun.
Words there.
Because
Get
it's
it?
just, oh look,
It
your
got
progress
so
is
bad,
gone
I had to
basically.
escape from
And
the
now there are more
ghost.
ghosts there,
We
so
do.
just
It
go
got
through
so
all
bad,
the
I had to escape
rooms,
from the
all the
gloomy manor
rooms. You have to
manor
clear out the
and hide
ghosts.
here where the ghosts
I
can't
mean, all the
find me.
rooms you go through.
Of course, I'm not
And
one to sit around
I did
and
not
twiddle
like
my
that.
thumbs.
The
I
second
wanted to know
game,
why the
it doesn't
ghosts
have
freaked
anything
out.
I hate.
So I
The
settled in
first
and did some
game
research
definitely
to figure
does.
out what had
There are
happened.
things I hate
That's
about
when
the
I
first game.
discovered something
The
truly
second game does
astonishing.
not have things
The
I
dark
hate that are
moon
tedious
had
and
vanished
annoying.
from the sky.
And because of
On
that,
top of that, the
um,
whole of
I
Eversham
have to definitely
Valley
put
had
Luigi's
become
Mansion as number one.
enveloped in
And
a
thanks so
dreary
much guys for
fog.
watching. Don't forget,
Now, I can't be
subscribe,
sure, but I
like the
think the
video,
disappearance of
and
the
I'll
dark
see you
moon is
all
what
next
caused
time.
all this.